Okay guys, we're working on geometry trail marker number 2. We're going to work from the top left down to the bottom left, top right down to the bottom right. Questions 1 through 10. What is the measure of the angle formed by Park Street and 1/16? So first you need to figure out, here's Park Street and here's 1/16. So here's the angle that we're looking for. Now we need to use vertical angles to figure out some measurements. Well, if 35 is down here, then the vertical angle is Main Street and 1/16, which is up here. So now I have this angle measurement. And if you look at Main Street and Park Street, it creates a 90-degree angle. So that means that Main Street and Park Street has to create another 90-degree angle on the left. So that means that x plus 35 equals 90 degrees, because this whole angle right here is 90 degrees. So if I subtract 35 from both sides, I get this 55 degrees. So that is a 55. Okay, question 2, what is the measure of MBE? So make sure you understand that we're looking for this angle right here. Well, you notice that EBR is a straight line, so it's got to add up to 180. So I can take 3x plus 2x and equal 180. Combine your like terms, you get 5x equals 180. Divide both sides by x and we get 36. And now if you plug 36 in to x right here, 3 times 30 is 90, and 3 times 6 is 18, so add 90 plus 18, you get 108. Okay, next one, find the measure of angle A. Well, look, it's triangle, so that means that all three angles have to add up to 180, so I get 2x plus 8x minus 10 plus 90 equals 180. Don't forget about that 90-degree angle. Combine your like terms, so I get right here, which is 10x. Negative 10 plus 90 is positive 80. Subtract 80 from both sides and I get 100. So 10x equals 100. Divide both sides, I get x equals 10. But now the question says find the measure of angle A. So you got to take x equals 10 and plug it right here. Well, 8 times 10 minus 10. 8 times 10 is 80, minus 10 is 70 degrees. Okay, question 4. We are given that angle 3 is 125. And angle 8 is what we're looking for right here. Well, corresponding angles 1 and 3 are 125. They're congruent. Good, because they're in the same position, top right, and 1 and 8 make a linear pair. So that means they add up to 180. So x plus 125 equals 180. Subtract 125 from both sides, and that means that angle 8 is 55 degrees, because they have to add up to 180. Okay, solve for 5. We just learned this lesson. Okay, so now we can set up a proportion, because it says that if a line is parallel to the third side, then it divides the sides proportionally. But here's the deal. 28 is the length of the whole side, where x is just the length of the part of the side. So we need to figure out this part before we can set up a proportion. So if 28 is the whole and 16 is the part, then that missing piece right here is 12 units long. So what we're going to do, now that we have this missing piece, we can set 12 divided by 16, make a fraction of the left side, equals x over 12. Cross multiply, so I get 144, which is 12 times 12, and then cross multiply other here, set them equal to each other, we get 16x. Divide both sides by 16, and we get x equals 144 divided by 16 gives me 9. Okay, so let's go right up here. Let's go back up to the top. Question 6. Well, look at the question. It says find the measure of ACD. Make sure you know which angle it's talking about. They are vertical angles, so I can set x plus 2 equal to 2x minus 7. Add 7 to both sides, so I get x plus 9 equals 2x. Subtract x from both sides to get the variable to the other side, and I get x equals positive 9. Great start, but we have to figure out this angle first. Well, 2 times 9 is 18, minus 7 is 11 degrees. And now, because that's a degree symbol, because this angle right here, ECD, is 11 degrees, it makes a linear pair with ACD. So 180 minus 11 gives me 169 degrees. And that's the measure of the linear pair to DCE. Okay, question 7. So you need to plot the point, 7, negative 2, and then reflect it over the x-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. There's my point A. And then my x-axis is this horizontal axis right here. And if it's 2 units away from that axis, then I need to go 2 units in the other direction, which is right up here at 7, positive 2. Okay, solve for x. Well, take a look. In this triangle, we have congruent sides. So the angles across from those congruent sides must be congruent to each other. So that means that this bottom left angle is congruent to this bottom right angle. So 5 in parentheses x minus 1 is equal to 2x plus 4. Distribute that 5, don't forget about that, which gives me 5x minus 5, because 5 times negative 1 is negative 5, equals 2x plus 4. I'm going to add 5 to both sides, so I get 5x equals 7x plus 9. Subtract 7x. Sorry, that's a 2x. Subtract 2x from both sides. And we get 3x equals 9. Divide by 3, divide by 3. And I get x equals 3. Okay, graph the line. Well, I need to have slope-intercept form first, so I'm going to move the negative 2x on both sides. So now I get y equals negative 2x plus 4. And now I can start on my y-intercept, which is positive 4, right up here on the y-axis. And I like to write my slope as a fraction, so I'm going to write it over 1, which means I'm going to go down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, connect these points, and then we have our graph. Last two, solve the system. Well, substitution is the hardest one, harder out of the two, but I'm going to plug 2y plus 1 in for x, so that's 2 times 2y plus 1 plus 3y equals 16. Distribute. So now after I do that, I get 4y plus 2, because 2 times 1 gives you 2, plus 3y equals 16. Combine your like terms, and I get 7y plus 2 equals 16. Subtract 2 from both sides, so I get 7y equals 14. Divide by 7, and y equals 2. Well, that's good to know, but we need both x and a y. So I'm going to take this y value and plug it into that first equation. For me, it looks a little easier. X equals 2 times the y value we just found, which was 2, plus 1. So x equals 4 plus 1. So x equals 5. So now my final answer is a coordinate, which is 5, comma 2. Last one, solve the system. Elimination, a little easier. X's are lined up, Y's are lined up, and constants are lined up. So 8 minus 8x's eliminates, which is good. 5y plus 2y is 7y. And then 38 plus 4 is 42. Divide both sides by 7, we get y equals 6. But just like the last question, we have to solve for y. That's for x as well. So we have y already. 8x plus 5 times that 6 that we just found equals 38. Remember, we can use top or bottom equation. Okay, simplify a little bit, so I get 8x plus 30 equals 38. I'm going to subtract 30 from both sides to get x by itself, so I get 8x equals 8. Divide by 8, divide by 8, and I get x equals 1. My final answer is 1 comma 6, and there's my coordinate. Okay, here you guys go. A little bit of review. We got some vertical angles, question 1, linear pair, question 2, triangle interior angle sum, question 3, some parallel lines using linear pairs, vertical angles if you want, alternate interior, alternate exterior. Question 5, triangle proportionality theorem. Question 6, a little vertical angles. Question 7 is our transformations. Question 8 is if sides then angles, so we have our triangle properties. Question 9 is graphing a line, and question 10 is solving a system by substitution or elimination. Good luck.